The administration's decision about how to bring alleged 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 4 other alleged conspirators to justice is the subject of fierce legal and political debate. Some see the decision for trials in federal court as the right call, a transparent process, not far from where the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center once stood. Others, though, are outraged, among them the man who led New York City that fateful morning, Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, thank you for joining us. You say this is the wrong call. The White House has gone back and said, wait a minute. He testified at the Moussaoui trial, and he said, among other things, quote, "I was in awe of our system. It does demonstrate that we can give people a fair trial, that we are exactly as we say we are. We are a nation of law." I think he's going to be a symbol of American justice. If it was right for Mr. Moussaoui, why is it wrong now?
Well, the reality is we can be an example to everyone. And a military tribunal is certainly fair. It's a great example to the rest of the world. The tradition for over 150 years has been to use those military tribunals. They were good enough for Abraham Lincoln, Franklin Roosevelt, in many, many cases. And in fact, the really strange thing about this decision is 5 of these terrorists are going to be tried in military tribunals anyway. So the reality is this is an unnecessary, first of all, it's an unnecessary advantage to give to the terrorists. I don't know why you want to give terrorists advantages. And secondly, it's an unnecessary risk to the city of New York, which already has any number of risks. If it was necessary, if this were the only option, well, of course I'd be in favor of it. And of course the city would do everything it could, as it will, to try and make it safe.
Well, the administration says those 5 going to military tribunals committed acts overseas against U.S. interests, and these that are going to go to trial in New York planned an attack, of course, here in the United States. I want to go back to something else you said, because I'm trying to make the distinction of things you've said in the past to where we are now. In 1993, you said of the World Trade Center trials in New York, it should show that our legal system is the most mature legal system in the history of the world, that it works well, that it is the place to seek vindication if you feel your rights have been violated. The political question is, what the White House is saying is, well, Rudy Giuliani said when Bill Clinton was president, a trial was okay. When George W. Bush was president, a trial was okay, but now that Barack Obama is president, it's not.
Well, that's actually a silly distinction that they're making. A trial is okay. A military trial is okay. In the case of the World Trade Center under Bill Clinton, I've already said, in retrospect, as many have, that was a mistake. To treat the 1993 bombing as if it were just a criminal act, just one of the 1,973 murders in the city of New York that year, was a big mistake. So basically, the Obama administration is repeating the mistake of history. Many, many people have regarded that as a mistake, that it was treated just as a civilian act. It should have been treated as an act of war. And it's part of a bigger picture here, John. It's part of Barack Obama deciding that we're not at war with terrorism any longer. So this is not treated as if it was an act of war, which it should be treated like. Remember, he's told us we can't use the term war on terror. The only problem with that, John, is the terrorists haven't stopped going to war with us. It may be that the Obama administration doesn't think we're at war with them, but they are very clear on the fact that they are at war with us. So for many, many reasons, including the symbolic reasons, this should be tried in a military court as an indication that we have learned since 1993, after the attack on the World Trade Center, then after the attacks in Africa, after the attack on the USS Cole, after the attack on the World Trade Center. Gosh, you'd think we'd learn that we're at war.